We've got Isaac Kenyon with us now. Isaac is a world record breaking eco adventurer and endurance athlete who has raised over 1 million for £1 million for mental health and environmental causes. He's inspired over 500,000 people through feats like rowing the Atlantic Ocean and speaking on global stages. As CEO of Climate Explorers CIC, he drives climate action and team building. Isaac is a fellow of prestigious exploration societies and trustee of Mind. With this intro, I would like to welcome Isaac. Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you, and welcome to the Drive Time Show.
Hi there, everyone. Good to hear from you.
Good to hear from you too. Thank you very much, Isaac, for joining us today. In your experience, what are some of the common misconceptions about men's mental health and that you wish more people understood?
Yeah, well, I just generally feel that there has been a big misunderstanding of what it means to be resilient.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the word resilience, for me, like many men, I've been shaped by resilience that's been taught, in the schools, cultural norms, workplaces. It's a type of resilience that doesn't strengthen you. It leaves you vulnerable. And it's very deeply embedded in our homes, communities, professional work environments today. It's everywhere. And this type of resilience is just something that I think is causing a lot of mental health issues, especially among men. Resilience is defined as the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties, i.e. toughness. Yeah, it's like being tough, but some people may agree with that definition, but I think it's very limited. Resilience isn't just about being tough and recovering from difficulties. It's about adaptability. It's about learning, emotional regulation, being able to deal with your emotions, have support networks and things like this. And I think we kind of have shaved the pencil so that we only have the point, which is being the tough, the point of reaching the summit. You've climbed the mountain. But actually, when people are climbing the mountains and dealing with their health, there's some setbacks. There's some times where you don't get to the summit. And it's all about that bouncing back, learning, pausing to reflect, those sort of things that I think are missing in society. And yeah, I mean, there's some good quotes. Like, here's a good quote that I always hear, like, persistence is super important. You shouldn't give up unless you're forced to give up, that sort of thing. You get this from the celebrities or the superheroes, the top voices sometimes. They're like, oh, I had it hard and I pushed on through. But at what cost? Those quotes, it suggests that we should push through, without considering limits. There's things like stress and burnout. It discourages self-care, seeking help, taking care of our well-being, taking time out, sleeping well. All these things are like sometimes put on the side because we set these unrealistic expectations that, to be successful, to be anywhere in life, you have to just push hard and never quit. And this whole refusal to quit culture is really undermining everyone's mental health, I would say, in society. So I'm a big advocate of a redefinition of resilience. I think it's not about enduring at all costs. It's about knowing when to rest, seek support, adapt. We're much stronger when we're at our best, right? Like if our baseline well-being is really nice and we're taking care of ourselves, we can definitely perform at our best. And it's crazy the world we live in right now, where we're just being stripped away from all these habits that are so important for our well-being.
Yeah, I mean, when we listen to some of the motivational speakers as well, I mean, it's not everyone is the same when it comes to achieving something. Some people need recovery as well. Some people need to rest as well. And as you mentioned, it's not about the way sometimes it's explained how resilience is. It's wrong because some people then break, and that can lead to so many things bad to the person as well. You combine mental health advocacy with environmental work. Do you find a connection between caring for the planet and caring for ourselves mentally and emotionally?
really do. I mean, some years ago, I almost took my life, basically. I was just at the brink. I had a really bad time of mental health. But what saved me, what was the saving grace, was nature and getting outdoors in the environment.
Mm-hmm.
It was the one place that didn't ask anything from me. It was the one place that just allowed me to be who I was, give me time and space to reflect, that sort of thing. And when I started getting outdoors more, I found that I was recovering. And it was like a weird sensation, but actually it makes complete sense. I mean, there's lots of statistics that we know from, like, there's a Cornell University study that says 20 minutes in nature is all that you need to improve and elevate your mood and well-being. I mean, that's, like, they've got, all the science proves that outdoors and nature is so important for us. But we were becoming more and more disconnected. We're staying indoors more. Like, the pandemic was a really good example of how not getting outdoors, not being in nature, not connecting with the world around us is actually bad for our health. Like, how many people got really ill mentally when they were trapped in the pandemic inside homes and things. It's very obvious. I mean, it's not rocket science, this. We are part of nature and nature's part of us, and we need to be integrated in it and not separated from it. So, I mean, for me, I'm very much an advocate of it because it saved my life, and I know it has saved others, countless others. It's also very good preventative because when you're outdoors, you're getting great endorphins, you're getting good serotonin, you're getting happy brain chemicals and things like that. You're also getting time and space to relax and recover from stress. It's a good preventative measure. And I think in this day and age, I think we need to start thinking about prevention rather than cure. You know, we can't just keep having this whole, like, here's a tablet for this, here's a tablet for that. How about we start thinking about, what can we do in our habits and lifestyles to actually prevent us from getting into a worse state in the first place? And one of those things can be having an outdoor sort of living, some more outdoor living. That's one way we can do it. And there's tons of science and research papers. Anyone can contact me. I'll send them details about it. But there's so much backing behind this. And that's why I'm a really big advocate of nature and outdoors. And I always just feel like the well-being of the planet is very integrated or linked to the well-being of ourselves.
That's so true. But we also see that in today's this digital age, people have become so addicted to their devices and the social media that they barely go outside. What would your advice be to those people in order to encourage them to reconnect with the nature and go outdoors more than spending hours and hours on their electronics, on their phones?
My advice is that we remember our experiences. I want people to think about at the end, when you are, on your last legs, do you want to remember scrolling? Like, nobody remembers scrolling. I don't remember when I go on social media. I don't remember the last post I looked at, liked, commented. I can't remember it.
Yeah,
but
same here.
I can remember when, like, I saw this incredible falcon or something in the sky, or wasn't, like, it etches in the memory. It's an experience, right? And I'm a big advocate of, life is an experience, and it should be a collection of experiences with good intensity and things like this. And scrolling or looking at screens and things, this doesn't provide like a good experience. It's just a distraction. It's not something, you're not really living. You're reading up on history, because all these things that are posted are historical. It's things that happened in the past. So I urge people to leave the phone in the house, go for a walk, look for here's a little task that I did when I was having my really bad mental health issues. I decided I'll go to the local nature reserve near me. I went online, I went on Google, and I found local nature reserve, and I just walked through it just to see what was there. I didn't really I think I turned my phone off, and I just walked, and it was amazing. It was really good, and you will feel how good it is.
Definitely.
Like, I don't need to say it, just go out there and do it, and you will feel how good it is.
Definitely. And lastly, any advice that you would like to give to the listeners, someone who's going through mental health issues, what would your advice be to those who you might feel depressed or going through any sort of difficulty?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many tools and tips that I've learned over the years since having my own issues, and one of them that I think is a really quick and easy one to implement into your life that's really helpful, that really helped me, and I still use it to this day, is that whenever you're going through like something really hard, something challenging, I just don't want to go in today into work or whatever, you're thinking of all the problems. I had anxiety that led to panic disorder and all these other mental issues and depression, and that came from anxiety, but that was because I was struggling a lot with mentally dealing with all these worries. But what I always suggest is that if you can do this one thing, and it's really simple, you write down everything that's in your mind, everything you're thinking about on a list on paper. Just get it out your head, write it onto a list on paper, all the things you're worried about or thinking of or whatever. Then just literally cross out the things you can't control. What are these things that are external? You can't control the weather, yeah? You've got to cross out the weather. Oh, it's raining. You've got to cross that out because you can't control that. What's left is what you can control. And then it means that this big thing in your head becomes very small, and there's only a few things that you can actually make a difference on. And of those things that you can control, I always say take one step or action towards one of those things at that moment in time that you can help improve yourself, your well-being, or whatever that is. And it's a very simple exercise, and you can do it at any stage in life, at any point, even if you're in your worst mental health state to your great mental health state, just as like a baseline of like, where am I actually at? Because sometimes we think we're in a worse place than we are. And in reality, when we cross out all those things we can't control, we realize actually it's not as bad as it is, and there's actually quite a lot of hope.
Definitely, especially when you count the blessings, count the good things in your life as well, you do feel much, much better rather than just counting what issues you're going through. Because the things that you can't control, of course, that's not something that you can really do anything about it. But thank you very much for your advice. It was really, nice to have spoken to you, and thank you very much for your time on the Voice of Islam.
I hope it helps someone. Thank you.
Definitely will. Thank you very much, and peace be upon you. So that was Isaac Kenyon, who spoke about mental health, and very beautiful advice that he has given, and something that everyone can do is explore the nature, especially when you go through difficulties. Even 20 minutes of exploring the nature, going into the nature, helps you with mental health issues, and it will it will take you away from the tensions that we have or that you might go through. There